All right, fifth quarter, Chad Doing here. Really appreciate your time tonight as the Trailblazers drop their second straight game to the Denver Nuggets at Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. And I'll just say it right now. I mentioned it before the game tonight on game day. The Denver Nuggets are the best team in the NBA. And barring injury, no one's going to knock them out in the Western Conference, and they're likely going to win back-to-back championships. They play the game the right way. They're led by superstar power in Nikola Jokic, and they've got a heck of a coach in Michael Malone. So there's no shame in losing back-to-back games in Denver against the Nuggets. They're the better team. They're the best team. But I think you can look at the two losses and see through long stretches of both games on Friday and tonight where the Blazers did a lot of good things. I mean, a lot of good things. And then tonight they just went ice cold in that second half. You know, props to the Nuggets for going on a 23-2 run and limiting Portland to just 40 points in the second half on 38% shooting and just 1 of 13 from downtown. See, good championship teams, what they do, they close quarters strong, and the Nuggets did that with that 11-0 run to end the third, where they took back the lead, and they can crank up the intensity, especially on defense, when they have to. They know how to pick their spots and crank it up when it's called. That's what they do, and we see it with the Nuggets. They've got the ability to weather a storm, overcome a slow start. They got the firepower to get back in the game, and with the leadership of Michael Malone and Nikola Jokic, they're tough. So big props to the Nuggets. That's a darn good basketball team and likely going to win back-to-back championships. Again, barring injury. But Jokic is awesome. Another 29-point performance tonight. He just feasted on the Portland Trailblazers over the last two games that we saw. The Trailblazers will come back home and play the first of 7 straight at Moda Center, starting with that game Thursday against the Detroit Pistons. Fifth quarter, Chad Doing with you on this Sunday evening here in the Rose City. The Blazers tonight, we got word beforehand that Jeremy Grant and Malcolm Brogdon were going to be out. They were nursing injuries, and Coach Billups stayed with his rotation plans by starting Thibault at guard, along with Simons, and Chris Murray, the rookie, got the start at forward next to Jabari and DeAndre Ayton, and that way Coach was able to bring Scoot and Tamani Kamara off the bench. The Blazers raced out to a 14-5 lead following a DeAndre Ayton bucket, 9-point advantage with 8:33 to play in the first. And a free throw from Nikola Jokic cut the Blazers' lead to 4 at 24-20, but Portland used the final 3:31 of the first to rip off a 13-5 run to extend their lead to 37-25 at the end of one. The Blazers, dynamic in the first quarter. They dished out 10 assists, shot 50%, and nailed 6 of 10 from downtown. It was really a terrific first 12 minutes of action for the Trailblazers. So we move on to the second. Denver used a 20-10 run to cut the Blazers' lead to 4 at 54-50. At the 2:47 mark of the second quarter, the Blazers would take a 63-60 lead into halftime. Portland shot 53% in the first half and were a ridiculous 10 of 18 from downtown. The Blazers dished out 19 assists, which is a massive number for them, and I love it. You remember I talked about ball movement and player movement in game day and the importance of that and wanting to see that tonight, and we got it. Great first half. Ant led the team with 15, 8, and 14 points and 4 rebounds, and Scoot had 9 off the bench. As we move into the third, the Nuggets did even the game at 67, but Portland maintained their advantage, and following an Ayton hoop, the Blazers led 78-75, which forced a Nuggets timeout at the 5:47 mark of the third. The Blazers would push their advantage to 9 at 84-75, but this is when Denver took over the game. They responded with an 11-0 run to close out the quarter. They took a 2-point lead at 86-84 heading into the fourth. The Nuggets pushed the run as the game moved along to 19-2, taking a 94-86 lead. The run reached 23-2 before the Blazers were able to get on the board with a pair of Simons free throws. And from that point, the Nuggets coasted to a 112-103 victory in Denver. Back-to-back wins for the Nuggets over the Trailblazers. And as I mentioned before, Portland will now return home for 7 straight at Moda Center, starting with the Detroit Pistons coming up on Thursday night. Taking a look at the box score tonight for your Portland Trailblazers. Chris Murray, 19 minutes, got the start at forward, scored 8 points on 4 of 7 shooting. Jabari Walker tonight, 4 points, 7 rebounds. He played 29 minutes. DeAndre Ayton was the meal ticket. He is stringing them together now. 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists on 13 of 19 shooting. Matisse Thybulle next to Simons at guard, 33 minutes, good defense, very active with his defense with, I believe, 3 steals, 6 points on 2 of 7 shooting, and Anthony Simons tonight, 26 points, 4 of 8 from downtown, 8 of 18 from the field. Scoot Henderson, 14 points, 9 assists coming off the bench. He was just 3 of 16 from the floor, 2 of 6 from downtown, but that follows 5 straight games of 50% shooting or better. Tamani Kamara with 10 points and 6 rebounds, and they got 8 points from Duop Reef on 3 of 3 shooting in 13 minutes of action. Reef is really showcasing what he can do. Fine basketball player. The Nuggets tonight, 48% shooting, 42% from downtown, 16 of 19 from the foul line. Rebounds were virtually even. The Blazers tonight with 13 turnovers, leading to 17 points for the Nuggets, and Denver with just 9. The Blazers tonight, 45% shooting, but the real key came in the second half. Denver's defense, they cranked it up. They held Portland to 40 points in the second half and just 38% shooting. Portland made just 1 of 13 from downtown in the second half of play, and that's where the game was lost. They got outscored 52-40. The shooting woes and the pressure that Denver put on them is what really turned this game around. But again, like I mentioned, that's what title teams do. Blazers held the edge, +4, 50-46 in the paint. Now the Blazers a slight edge, 17-15 in fast break points, and the Nuggets a 19-13 edge in second chance points. So Nuggets get the win, back-to-back wins over the Blazers at Ball Arena in Denver. But I think a lot of good things you could take away. What I love about the game tonight, and this happens a lot when you have a shortened roster or, key guys out of the lineup, with Brogdon and Grant out, the Blazers did a great job of moving the basketball, sharing the ball, getting others involved. We saw Ayton feature. They did a good job of getting him the ball to his spots where he can make plays. Just great ball movement. 19 assists in the first half. The Blazers tonight finished the game with 29 assists. So responding and moving the basketball, moving bodies, playing the right way, but that's exactly what you want. Wasn't as good in the second half, but again, they're playing the right way. That's the way you want to execute on offense. Less ISO, more movement, and getting guys good looks. And the Blazers were able to do that for an extended period of time in this game tonight, so I love that. Scoot Henderson, aggressive, and once again showcasing better control. Made a couple of mistakes, but overall the decision-making was good. He just missed shots, and I can live with that, right? I can live with that. I mean, he's been stringing them together, but, on a night where he didn't shoot the ball well, still made an impact with 14 points and 9 assists. Good energy and good defense from Tamani, which is nothing new, but I think we got to look at the development of DeAndre Ayton. Over the last week plus, he's strung together now 6 or 7 straight games of highly productive ball. He was great tonight. He's getting to his spots. He's getting comfortable. I mentioned the continuity. Again, tonight, guys in and out of the lineup. But Ayton really starting to feel himself after missing nearly a month of basketball with the 12 games he missed, mostly because of injury with the knee tendonitis and then the one with the ice. So I feel good coming out of the 2 games against Denver. And now they got a chance to get back on track and grab a couple of wins with the games coming up at home. All right, we'll come back on fifth quarter, and when we do, I'll let you know what's coming up for the Trailblazers after a scoreboard report. 503-248-0620. Little journey here. Very nice, Shacker. You walked out on me. Dun, dun, dun. I wish I could sing like Steve Perry, but the problem is I can't sing like Steve Perry. This is a great song. All right, Blazers take the loss 112-103. Scoreboard reports coming up next on the fifth quarter. It's all because of you. Holding on, but I'll try.
Henderson up top. Out to Thibault. Now back to Scoot. To Kamara. Ball fake back to Henderson for three. No good. Deflected back out to Scoot. Lost it, but he gets it back. 4 minutes on the clock. Henderson in front of Murray. Screen comes. Scoot takes it to the free throw line. To Thibault for three. No good. Another offensive rebound. Put back. No. Another putback is no good. Batted around and eventually controlled by Jokic.
All right, checking the NBA scoreboard. In Detroit, the Magic over the Pistons, 111-99. Franz Wagner with 38 points. In our nation's capital, the Suns ripped the Wizards 140-112. Bradley Beal, 43 points and 6 assists. The Celtics continue to lead the Eastern Conference. They hammer the Grizzlies in Boston, 131-91. Jason Tatum with 34 points, 8 boards, and 7 assists. In Charlotte, the Pacers topped the Hornets 115-99. Pascal Siakam, 25 points, 8 boards, 9 assists. In Miami, the Clippers topped the Heat 103-95. Kawhi Leonard with 25 points and 11 rebounds. The Timberwolves topped the Rockets in Minnesota 111-90. Anthony Edwards, 32.6 rebounds. In double overtime, the Thunder topped the Raptors in Oklahoma City 135-127. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 23 points, 9 boards, and 14 assists. The Utah Jazz ripped the Milwaukee Bucks in Utah 123-108. Giannis, 33 points, 7 boards, 13 assists in the loss. And at Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado, the Nuggets over the Trailblazers by a final score of 112-103. Jokic, another big night, 29 points, 8 boards, and 7 assists. So in the 2 wins for Denver over the Trailblazers, Jokic on Friday, 27 points, 22 rebounds, and 12 assists. Tonight, 29, 8, and 7. Their versatility, their incredible play, and the guy that I'm paying attention to now is Peyton Watson. Could be that key reserve for them, but you can see the depth, the versatility of the lineup, and with the play of Jokic and his unselfishness, they just play the right way. They're good. They had 26 assists tonight. They had 34 in the win on Friday. But the way they move the ball, the way they get after it, I just got nothing but respect. And barring injury, they'll win the West again. I think right now it could be the Clippers with their experience and their veteran play that could be the biggest challenge to them. But the Blazers take the loss tonight. But again, if we go back to, what this season's all about, understanding that it's the first year of a full rebuild, we're monitoring the growth of the young players, which we're seeing. There's been a lot of growth and development of the youngsters. I think those 4 guys, Scoot, Shaedon, Jabari, and Toumani Camara, the way those 4 have played is very encouraging. And I think with the way that Coach Bells wants them to compete on both ends, we're seeing some growth in that department. They started the year strong defensively. They had some slippage. But what I've seen over the last few weeks, really dating back to the 4-game road trip with the way they're moving the basketball, getting multiple players involved, making the next pass. The assist numbers are up. The passes per game are up. Playing a better style of basketball. I think those are, part of the evaluation process that we have to pay attention to. How are the guys responding to Coach Billups and how he wants them to play? And what about the development of the youngsters? Even though DeAndre Ayton is I would consider him a veteran, obviously, not a young player like the 4 guys I mentioned. Ayton coming over from one team in Phoenix where he had played the first part of his career to a new team, a new roster, different players, having to deal with being, in and out of the lineup. And now that he's back, the coaches understanding or developing a better understanding of his strengths and what he does best, and then devising an offense and putting him in a position to have success. And then with the continuity of some of the guys that are on the floor with Ayton, they're doing a good job of getting him the ball in spots. He's being aggressive and creating some opportunities on the offensive glass. But just his size, his smarts, his presence out there is making it different for the lineup. But, when he gets to his spots, he's a very, very efficient shooter. I like his game. I like him. I'm a big fan of DeAndre Ayton. But what he's done over the last 7 games, the production of the play. You can see he's getting more comfortable. So it's not just about the development of the young players, but also taking a guy like Ayton and getting him in a position to where he can have success. And when he's playing like he is over the last 7 games, it's going to make this team better. So keep in mind, I mentioned this earlier today, trade deadline's coming up on the 8th, it's Thursday. I was convinced, based on what I heard early in the year, that Malcolm Brogdon would be moved out without question. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they do nothing. I think there are teams who are making offers right now. They have multiple veterans on the roster that other teams could have interest in, but I don't expect something to happen now. They may wait and play out the rest of the year, and then we'll see what happens during the summertime as we near the draft to see if any moves are going to be made. The great part about where Cronin's at right now with the flexibility and the assets that he's been able to create, he's under no pressure to make a move today or by Thursday with the NBA trade deadline. He can wait, be patient, and continue to monitor what's out there. And if the right deal comes across the table, you can execute. But if not, don't rush. Wait until you can get the most in return. Because, you know, with the Blazers, obviously we want the development of the young players because they've already invested 2 high draft picks in Scoot and Shaden. And then you got the second-round pick of last year and Jabari Walker who's coming along, which is nice. But you want to make sure that the veterans that they've accrued that eventually will be moved out, that you get the most in return as possible, whether it be picks or young players. And that's the other thing I've heard, that the team does value young players and would look for that. It doesn't have to be a deal involving draft picks, but it could be young players that they believe fit the team, the culture, and what they're trying to accomplish. So that's where we're at right now. 503-248-0620. Let's go out to the phones. The phone screener reads Flaming Long Arrow. Let's go out there right now and see what's cracking. Flaming Long Arrow, welcome to the show. Fire away.
And welcome to you, my brother, brother of the sun, brother of the earth, my native brother. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing very well, my native brother. Thank you. I appreciate you asking.
Yes, I just wanted to offer a few, what we would call in my culture, arrows to point, things to do that would help. Now, you may know, we've spoken once before, I have a long background in the adult entertainment industry. I've starred in 77 featured films, and my stage name, Flaming Long Arrow, is for good reason. And I wanted to just simply say this. When I would walk onto a set, I had swagger, and I had lift. You know, I had lift, and I would walk on the set, and I would own that set. That was my set. Nobody was allowed there. Nobody holding a pole with a microphone. Nobody holding a pole with lights on or nothing. I owned that set. It's all about the swagger, my native brother friend, because when you walk in, you've got to have the swagger. Tonight's game, I saw a team that had swagger for about a half, maybe 3/4. But in my industry, you have to know how to perform when the pressure is on. If you're with a marquee star, you really have to know how to perform when the pressure's on. And this team lost their lift right when the third quarter was ending, and they didn't know how to perform when the pressure was on, and they're with a marquee name on the lights. They need to learn to do that. They need to come to some of our tribal meetings and enjoy some of our dances and participate in some of our dances, and they will learn what it's like to own your space and own the room that you are in. Thank you for my time. Blessings to you from the sun and the moon and the stars, my native brother. Good to speak to you as always. Good night.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts. That's actually pretty good advice. When you step into your set, in this case it would be Ball Arena or on the NBA floor, You've got to own the floor. Let's go back out to the phones. Victor in Turkey is back. Victor, my friend, welcome to the show.
Hi, bro. Thank you for your time. Well, I want to see if we can take some of the concept from this game. I don't, how can I say that? I don't agree, but I think I must say, well, you said they're the best team, the Denver Nuggets. I think they're a beatable team. The reason I'm saying that, because look at Portland, one of the last, team on the NBA, without the Jeremy Grant, one of their best, forward. And I don't know the other guys, Brogdon play or not, but even Jeremy Grant, they lost with 9 points. So that means we make too much of the Denver Nuggets. Whether they didn't play their best game, I don't know. But another reason is that, you see, the Denver Nuggets, they have several sharp shooters, several. Not one, not two, not three, maybe even four. Portland has only one shooter, one shot. That is, of course, Simon. So what I'm saying is, if the Blazers, they want to beat, suppose if their dream or their future dream, they want to beat somebody like Denver Nuggets, they have to have a sharp shooters like they want. And also the defense, you must say there's some lack of defense over there. The Denver Nuggets, they have a better defense. Whether this young Blazer, they can work on that, make it to that level, we have to see. But what I'm saying is, 9 points loss is not a blowout. And with Jeremy was playing, there could be 2 points. And another thing is the Denver Nuggets, they're more mentally concentrated team than the Blazers. They are more committed. They are more committed, and how can I say that? They have a higher spirit of playing the basketball. Whether they are more confident, maybe the coaches say, well, you are the best in the world, and you have the best player in the world. But the psychology shouldn't fool you. You see, the psychology fool every human being. Say you are a golf player. You play golf. And then you go there, and someday you say, well, no, I'm not going to compete with this another guy. He's a champion of the golf. I'm going to play golf with this guy. He's much better than me. There's a lot of psychology, going on. And you're an analyst, You have a good psychology. You have a mental power. But the NBA players, I don't say they are not smart, but their mental is not that high, like a college, grade A student in the college. They usually they don't take even hard courses in the college. So what I'm saying, you have to train the psychology that don't get fooled that Jokic, you cannot do anything against him, or that guy, you cannot defend him. They have a lot of psychology going on in the NBA and the professional basketball, because their mental are not that high that you say, well, they are born like that, and they're super smart, mentally. You have to train their mental attitude that give them that confidence, like the Denver is doing. I think that's why they can lose to Denver. But there is a way to overcome that.
Yeah, great points, Victor. I think with the Nuggets, one, what helps is they're coached the right way. Michael Malone's got a system, and he's got expectations for how he wants them to play on both ends. It helps to have a player like Jokic, who is coachable, who's the best player on the planet right now, and his play and unselfishness inspires that team concept and ball, and they've constructed a roster around Jokic that's really nice. Really nice. A lot of guys that can shoot, guys who can attack, and they play unselfish basketball. They're great. And I do think the Nuggets are the best because I look at it in terms of a 7-game series. Who's going to be able to outplay them and win 4 out of 7? I just don't see it happening. They're that good. They are legit. And the Blazers competed and played good basketball the last couple of games, Friday and tonight, without Jeremy Grant on the floor. 503-248-0620. We'll come back on fifth quarter. We got to hear from Chauncey Billups in the coach's corner. I don't think I would arrive at the set with confidence like flaming long arrow. I'd be more like George Costanza. Shrinkage! It'd be bad. But I don't think the Blazers are intimidated by the Nuggets. I think you just got to play flawless basketball to be able to win a game in that building. And if you go a long stretch where you can't get a field goal or you give up a 23-2 run, it's going to be tough. But championship teams, they can crank up the intensity and call up on that when they need to get things done, and Denver certainly did tonight. Closed the third quarter on an 11-0 run to take the lead and extended the run to 23-2 to take control of the game. We'll hear from Chauncey Billups coming up next here on the fifth quarter. All right, Blazers take the loss tonight, 112 to 103. Let's check in with Blazers coach Chauncey Billups following the loss.
It was great. It was important for us. We talked about how poorly we started the last game. Against great teams, you just can't have those type of starts, especially on the road. And I thought our guys had great carryover coming out of that locker room and just going out and fighting and scrapping, and laying on the line. So I was very happy with our start, and I thought we played as good of a first half as you could play. We shot it well, a lot of good things.
And DA tonight, what do you think of his performance?
Yeah, DA was focused from the very start. He was great the whole game. He gave us the scoring punch that we need. I thought he was good on the glass. I thought defensively, he was sound the whole night as well. So, good bounce back game for him.
That second half, obviously 1 for 13 from
Yeah.
3. Just chalk it up to the bad second half shooting.
Yeah. We got some pretty good looks. Just couldn't make. You go 1 for 13 from the 3 against a team, and they're getting some momentum. It makes it tough. I thought we did a better job in the second half. The one area we struggled at in the first half was we just couldn't keep them off the glass. The offensive rebounds really hurt us. Did a better job in the second half of just finishing great defensive possessions. Created some opportunities, just couldn't make shots.
Ant had some really nice passes in that game too. Finding DA, that one, Horns play you guys had found him. DA got hit. Another one kind of late in the second half. I asked you already about it before, but their connection, it seemed like they were really kind of feeling each other.
Yeah, I'm telling you, those two are they're starting to get some real chemistry, between the two. Most teams are going to play Ant, in these really, really aggressive coverages. And DA is really good in that pocket area, whether he's catching it and scoring or even making decisions, making passes. I've been impressed with how he's starting to pick the defenses apart, too.
Scoot, a little bit of a tough night shooting, but, he finished with 9 assists. What do you like about, or did you like about his decision-making?
I loved everything about Scoot's game tonight. Obviously he struggled from the field, but he's so much more than that. You look at him get 9 assists, 8 rebounds, toughness that he plays with, the fire that he plays with, the pace that he plays with. I thought it opened up the game for us tonight. So, he's going to be the type of player that it doesn't even matter what his field goal, what it looks like. He could have been 8 for 16 or 3 for 16. His floor game, his defensive, he can do so much, So I love Scoot's game tonight.
And Chris Murray in the starting spot, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. Like I said, Chris is he just plays right. He plays the right way. He does the right things. He crashes the offensive glass, defensive glass. He doesn't miss very many assignments. So I thought he did a good job with his opportunity.
Thank you all. Thank
Yep.
you.
All right.
There's Chauncey Billups following the Blazers 112-103 loss tonight at Ball Arena. He's right. That first half was, about as good as it can get. 19 assists. They took the lead into halftime. Were playing good basketball. And then, had the difficulties where they fell apart at the end of the third going into the fourth. But, again, you're shorthanded up against the defending champs. I don't expect perfection. But to compete that way and play that way and put themselves in a position on back-to-back nights, to where they have a chance to win the game or within striking distance, that's exactly what I'm looking for. It's good. All right, we'll come back. We'll get into what's the Scoot and dive a little bit further into Scoot Henderson. DeAndre Ayton tonight, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. He was dynamite. And he's been terrific the last just about 10 games. He's starting to string them together and play good basketball. Comfortable. You could see it in his game. Nuggets get the win, 112-103. It's the fifth quarter on your home of the Blazers, 620, Rip City Radio. All right, Shacker, that's one of the worst songs I've ever heard in my life, but thank you. Scoot Henderson tonight, 14 points and 9 assists. And you heard Coach Billups after the game say that he liked everything about his game tonight. He did not shoot the ball well tonight, coming off the bench, 33 minutes, just 3 of 16 from the floor, 2 of 6 from downtown. But players are going to have nights like that. I think, what was Jamal Murray the other night, like 3 of 15 from downtown? You'll have nights where you don't shoot the basketball particularly well, but as long as you're playing it the right way, being aggressive, playing offense, initiating the offense, defensively paying attention to your keys and doing the things that the coaches want you to do, and just continuing that process of development. And right now, Scoot is in a groove to where he's doing a lot of good things out there. So just keep pressing forward. Get a chance to regroup, get a few days off, get some practice time in, get a chance to review the film, continue to work with the coaches, and then you bounce back the next night and hopefully shoot the ball even better. That's really what it comes down to. So very happy with where Scoot's at right now as he continues to press forward this year, but showing some great signs. The last couple of weeks, ever since the 4-game road trip, it's been a great, great week for, good time for Jabari. Not Jabari, but Scoot, having, really those games too. The game, 30 points on Friday against Denver and had the strong performance, 15 points against Milwaukee, and had 22 points in that game against Philly. So he's moving in the right direction. Plus, until tonight, 5 straight games of 50% shooting or better. All right, that's going to do it for me. Tomorrow morning, Justin Myers has Rip City Mornings starting at 6 a.m. Rip City Drive will kick off at 3. Next Trailblazer broadcast will come up on Thursday with game day starting at 4:30, tip-off against the Pistons at 7. Your final score tonight from Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. The Nuggets, 112. Your Trailblazers, 103. For Michael Shacker, I'm Shad Doing. Have a good night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.